Hi everyone, I'm James Hutchison with PSN News Weekend Update. Two Washington, D.C. area hospitals announced today that each had admitted a patient with symptoms and travel histories associated with Ebola. Both patients are in isolation, but there is no confirmed diagnosis at this time. This news comes only 4 days after the Centers for Disease Control confirmed that a Dallas resident had been diagnosed with the deadly disease. Thomas E. Duncan has been in isolation since his diagnosis on Tuesday. According to the CDC, the patient had recently traveled to Dallas from Liberia. 10 people who had the most contact with Duncan are still in quarantine, and another 40 are being monitored daily. On Thursday, a museum official in Centre County was arrested on federal charges of child exploitation and pornography. Christopher Lee, the CEO of Bowl Mansion Museum, was indicted by a Harrisburg federal grand jury this week. The U.S. Attorney's Office alleges that 65-year-old Lee used the internet to engage in illegal relations with a minor. Additionally, he was found in possession of child porn by state college police. At a recent hearing, Lee was ordered to remain in federal custody as the investigation proceeds. If found guilty, the defendant could face up to life in prison. The Pennsylvania State Senate recently passed a medical marijuana bill, and supporters are calling the result a step in the right direction. The bill, which would legalize some forms of medical marijuana, passed the Senate by a margin of 43-7. The legalization would allow limited access to cannabis to Pennsylvanians struggling with illnesses such as epilepsy, PTSD, and cancer. However, opponents expressed concern that the proposal would send mixed messages to children about drug use. Senate Bill 1182 now awaits a vote from the House of Representatives. If passed, Governor Tom Corbett has indicated that he would veto the measure. As the search for accused cop killer Eric Frein intensifies, Pennsylvania State Police announced today that they found food and other supplies at a campsite he had recently used. Clothing and 90 rounds from a rifle of the same type used in the ambush earlier this month were also found. Police said they believe Frein will begin breaking into cabins or searching through trash bins to sustain himself. Earlier this week, they announced the discovery of 2 pipe bombs at the same campsite. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens called the bombs, quote, substantial explosive devices, likely intended to injure and kill law enforcement. As the search now enters its 3rd week, officers continue to urge caution in the densely wooded areas of Pike and Monroe counties. That's all for PSN News Weekend Update. I'm James Hutchison. Have a great weekend.